Hey guys, another video here for you. This is actually a pleasure of mine to be showing you this knife. This is a Busse fixed blade. The model is an ASH-1, that's ASH-1, which stands for Anniversary Steel Heart. This is an amazing fixed blade. If you're asking yourself if I own it, actually I don't. I would love nothing more than to own this knife, but this is actually a friend of mine. His knife, I offered to sharpen it for him because he was having a lot of difficulty in sharpening it himself, and I'll show you that in just a moment. First I want to talk about the knife in general. This is not a cheap knife. Amongst the knife community, Busse fixed blades are among the highest quality fixed blades out there, pretty much. I believe, I don't know offhand, I don't know a lot about these knives. I've read a lot, but not specs and specifics on them. I do know that this one specifically has Infi steel. That's INFI. Pretty amazing steel. I've just read a couple things about it today. I've heard it before. People prefer it. Of course, a lot of the Busse knives do have that as well, I believe, as Swamp Rat, which is another division of theirs, I believe. Again, I'm not 100% on this. I'm more of a folders guy than fixed blades. But this is just amazing. This is my very first Busse that I've actually had in my hands to feel and look at and examine myself. And it's just like with folding knives, when people finally get a Sebenza or a Strider and they kind of talk about how amazing it is. It's kind of the same feeling. You don't really know until you actually have it in front of you, to experience. Again, this is not for everyone. Not everyone's going to shell out that much money for a knife, but this really is amazing. A little more about Infi steel. I believe the Rockwell hardness that they put on it is 58 to 59, which is about average, for most steels, or better steels, I should say. It's kind of a mix of a lot of different things. The blurb that I read directly from Busse's site, they had a little section on different aspects of the steel itself, as far as edge retention and things like that. I highly recommend going to their site to read it. It's pretty interesting. But from what I gathered, it's not a stainless steel. It's like a tool steel, similar to D2, something like that, or 1095 carbon steel. But it's very, very high corrosion resistant. So even though it is a carbon steel, it acts very similar to a stainless. It's hard to start rusting on you. Not to mention that most Busse knives have some kind of coating on the blade to begin with. First thing you'll see there is that the high polish I put in the blade. See the light reflecting off there, just sparkling. Actually, I'm kind of proud of myself. I did a really good job on this. I used the Edge Pro Apex and started off with the 400 grit, got all the way up to 800 grit. Then I used a 3000 grit polishing tape to finish that off, and it came out really nice. And in case you're wondering, yes, it is very sharp. And I have to tell you in a minute. Well, I guess I'll tell you now. This stock is literally the thickest blade stock I've ever seen on any knife. Of course, fixed blades having thicker stocks. And I actually have two knives to compare it to in just a moment. But for such a thick stock, to get a nice edge on that, if you get it like really, really razor sharp, it's not easy to do. But with a little time and a little care, I was able to do that, and I really hope my friend likes it when he gets it. I'm fairly sure he will. But as you see here, it is very sharp. Cleanly slicing through paper. And actually, let me try to get a very fine cut on here to show you really the extent of how sharp that is. I don't know if you can see that. It looks kind of like fuzz because it's so small. Let me try to get something a little bigger for you. See that cut? I mean, this thing is razor sharp now, which is awesome. Try to get what I call a little curly Q. Get it to curl up. Oh, I got that, but it cut all the way off. Oh, this one kind of folded over. You can see that, but it's like a spiral. When you get a really, really thin cut like that, it spirals up just by nature. There we go. There's something you could see that's still attached. But just really sharp. I mean, both in looks and, of course, in performance. These knives, seriously, they're amazing. And the first thing I noticed about this knife was how extremely heavy it was. When I first handled this knife, I was shocked. This has to be over a pound, at least. The heaviest knife, fixed blade, I've ever held to date. Really solid feeling. I love this. I believe it's canvas micarta. It's all like 3D cut. Just really, you could facilitate an extremely good grip on this. Really amazing. I like the design. Pretty wicked looking to begin with. But let me give you some comparisons here. I have my DLG Custom. I showed in my other video. Now, when I got this is a beautiful knife, and this to me has a thick blade stock. But comparing it to these new Busse, it's just not as thick. I mean, look at that. That's amazing. Really is something else. You might be asking, what's the big deal? Why do you want a thick stock? Well, with something like this, obviously this falls in the wilderness survival type category, or a good tactical field knife. So as far as the wilderness survival category goes, you want a fixed blade that will perform many different tasks for you. One of them being batoning. Batoning is when you rest your knife against a log, a thicker log, and you can use another smaller piece of wood to kind of hammer it through, almost using it like a wedge. And to have that super extra thick stock here, it just makes for an extremely strong knife. Gives you a whole lot to work with here. It's just really nice. I can't say enough about these. This is amazing. I have to say, I'm definitely a folder guy. I'm not really into fixed blades as much, but I certainly appreciate all kinds of cutlery. That's how I came up with my name, Cutlery Lover, because I love it all. I can't turn down any edged tool. But I have to say, if I do spend a lot on a fixed blade, I'm definitely going to have to get something by Busse. This was quite impressive. I really wish everyone can actually handle a knife like this, so they can really experience it, and for what it is. Just really, really nice. I don't even think this is necessary, but I have one of those Mora knives. Give you a comparison here, which is kind of a joke, but there you go. But as you saw with the paper, I mean, even for a really thick knife like that, you can get it very sharp, very good performing edge, and obviously a lot of people stand behind these, of course. There's a huge fan base on these Busse knives. But again, this is a friend's. I have not used this. I don't know specifically how it performs, but I would imagine it would not be disappointing. Of course, out of respect for my friend, I'm not going to play around with this, especially since I just sharpened it now. It's, my part is kind of done, and I'll just fondle it and stare at it for a little bit, and then give it back to him. But these really are amazing. I wish, I apologize, I don't have any more specs for you. I wish I could have done like a full review. But again, I don't own this knife. I don't really know much about it. I do know that it's exactly 12 inches overall, the length on this model, the ASH-1. And of course, they have a bunch of varieties, different handle colors and blade coatings. So you got a lot to choose from. But this really is just amazing. Got to get me one of these eventually. But I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but as far as price, this is probably between $400 and $500. That's a rough estimate. It's definitely not cheap. When I shell out that much money for a knife, it's usually for a folding knife that I know that eventually I might actually use. But who knows? Beautiful, beautiful knife. Again, beautiful sheath. I believe it's custom. I don't know much. I don't have any more information on that. I don't see any maker's marks on this sheath, so it might just be another Busse sheath available. Again, I apologize. I'm not 100% on that. It's cool. They have another section here if you wanted to put a strap through here for a leg strap to further secure that, against your side. Really nice. But again, can't say it again. I can't say it enough, folks. Amazing, amazing fixed blade. If you ever have the chance to put out that kind of money and you want something you can really, really beat on, this is it. That is definitely it. Alright, that's my quick overview of the ASH-1 by Busse, and I just want to show my friend that edge I put on for him, and I hope he likes it. I'm pretty sure he will. And I appreciate you coming in and watching another one of my videos. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.